Today, we're going to talk about a live market scanner for MT4, what real market scanners are like and what we're going to be looking for. I'll be taking your Q&A and I'll show you how we implement that on MT4. I want to make sure that everyone knows and understands that there's that MT4 professional or resilient traders cannot give you specific trading advice because we are not trading advisors. We cannot give you any specific investment advice. But you need to know that there are great risks involved in trading futures, stocks, Forex, cryptocurrencies. There's also a large potential for reward, but don't let the reward and the chase for reward outweigh your understanding and knowledge of risk. So we don't represent that any account will make money or lose money. We just know that it always happens. Make sure that you never trade with money that you cannot afford to lose. And please get advice from a competent financial advisor before you start trading in any of the markets that we discussed today. My name is Randy Lindsay. I'm your trade coach and operations director here at MT4 Professional. Joining me today is Claudio Cardinale. He is our product development director and technology guru. Anything techno related, I refer to Claudio. If there are any specific questions about the software in the questions panel, Claudio will probably answer those, as I probably will be focused more directed to the trade questions. So we're going to talk about the market scanner today and what MT4 Professional is all about. I'll go through a live demonstration, and then we'll make a very special offer at the end of the presentation to make sure that everybody is on board and ready to go. And of course, throughout the demonstration, if you ask your questions in the chat panel or the Q&A panel on your Zoom control, then I'll answer those questions as we go through the presentation. So what is a market scanner? What is MT4 Professional? Well, if you consider all of the symbols and all the time frames on MT4 or MT5 for that matter, there's 54 X pairs, 20 CFDs, 9 different time frames on MT4. Well, that's more than 630 combinations right there alone. If you add the additional time frames of MT5, or if you're trading multiple markets other than Forex, then you can see that number is going to go up really quickly. So do you really think that you're able to do this manually? Can you scan through all of those different combinations for trade opportunities, knowing you're going to catch them all? Most people can't do that. Today, if you're trading on different instruments, it is excruciatingly important because you're diversifying your portfolio. If you're trading the same instruments, then they're all going to be moving together. If you're trading on different instruments, different times, you're going to have a higher probability of finding the results because the uncorrelated instruments are a great way to diversify and to keep your portfolio balanced. So a market scanner that's tuned to do that for you would be very, very helpful. So let's look at some examples of what a market scanner really is and what it is when I refer to a market scanner, what we're talking about. So Market Scanner is an automatic tool. It allows you to scan the market at a glance for any symbol or time frame using your own custom rule sets. That's the idea behind it. You're using indicators, you're using some sort of a logic strategy that should automatically use that to help you to see whether to go bullish or whether to go bearish. So an example that I have on the screen here is on the right. You can see I have a symbol list of a bunch of different symbols, and then I have 2 different time frames. And I have color codes denoting whether that time frame is bullish or bearish. So from an analyst perspective, I can look at this very quickly and scan through this to determine whether I want to be bullish or bearish in this market. So the example we're going to use is the cross of 2 moving averages. So on the right, you'll see that the green denotes a bullish cross. That means the fast moving average is greater than or crosses over the slow moving average. And a bearish cross, which are the red cells, where the 15 period fast moving average crosses below the 30 moving average, which is the slow. So quickly looking over here, then I can see right here, I see a bearish setup on a bullish trend. I see a bullish setup on a bearish trend. So these are all, conditional setups. You can see a couple where you're seeing a continuation of bearish trend on a bearish trend. So you can see those are very much more longer term established trend. These look like probably noise fluctuations within the longer term trend. 1 minute and 1 hour, those are really tough to compare. But of course, if you had a way of changing the time frames to make them a little bit closer or a little bit more in agreement, or to adding a lot of different time frames, you can see there's going to be a lot of value in that. Well, what about more time frames? Well, what about different time frames? What does that mean? Well, it's called multiple time frame technical analysis. Well, if you trade using multiple time frames, you have a higher probability of getting a profitable trade, and you have a higher probability of getting a low risk entry. This is due to correlation. It's one of the advantages of using multiple time frames. So if you look at the chart, on the right, you see a 4-hour, a 1-hour, and a 15-minute. Noisy fluctuations in the 15-minute. It's much smoother in the hourly and extremely smooth in the 4-hour. These are much longer term trends, and every one of these are 4-hour ticks that you see up in these positions, but the fluctuations within those 4-hour ticks are very, very choppy. So if you're trading in direction of the longer term trend, you can see you're going to have a much higher probability of capturing these up moves, not getting caught by the corrective down moves because you're staying with the longer term trend. And when the longer term trend starts to correct, only then can you start to capture the noisy trends that are going down in line with the 4-hour trend. So the idea behind it is to trade in line with the higher term trend. You're going to have a higher probability of a profitable trade and a better risk trade. So if a scanner could scan that for you, if it could look for these directional trades, higher probability entries going in the direction only of that longer term trend, it would be an extremely valuable tool, wouldn't you say? So the problem was, as professional traders, we looked around and could not find a single one that met our needs. We found a few that met these conditions, but they were too complex to configure, which meant, yeah, you had to have someone as smart as Claudio to sit down and program it for you. It was unstable, or it was a single tool that didn't really integrate with the entire system. It was incompatible with a lot of indicators. That's the basics of what you want in the system anyway. So what good is it if it can't even work with the indicator that you're using? There were a lot of other issues that we came up with. So of course, our solution was to develop our own. And that's what we did. We decided to create MT4Professional for ourselves in our own daily trading. And now it's the #1 market scanner on MT4 and MT5, a tool that allows you to instantly scan the entire market for setups that match your unique rules. When you find a good setup on MT4Professional, it allows you to enhance that with technical analysis, enabling multiple time frame analysis, which really isn't so easy to do on MT4 or MT5 for that specific setup. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you exactly how we do that, because MT4Professional coupled with the scanner puts you in a league that only high-end institutional traders have access to. And I want to show you exactly how to do that. But for now, I've told you a little bit about what a scanner is, what the capabilities of a scanner are. Let's go into a poll to find out exactly what your specific needs are. So how can a market scanner best benefit you? Less risk in missing trades, less time wasted searching for trades, a better chance of finding high probability trades, or you just don't know. Maybe you weren't listening. Uh, maybe your cat interrupted you. I don't know. But you can place I don't know, and that would be perfectly fine. Please enter your response to the poll, and after a certain number of you have responded, then we'll close the poll and show you the results and move on to the next. Of course, today's session is interactive, and if you have any questions, make sure you put your questions in the chat panel. Otherwise, I'll just continue on with my presentation and I'll be showing you different examples. All right, 50% of you say a better chance of finding high probability trades. I think that's what most people generally look for. They want to find those high probability, low risk trades, and they don't want to waste time looking for them either. All right, so there you go. You're looking for trades, but you're looking for those setups. The next poll, we're going to find out some information about whether you are looking for specific scans. So what kind of scanner configuration would most meet your specific needs? Now, we only have 4 different examples here, so if you have some other specific examples, you can put those here, but these generally cover most people's needs, or most traders are using today. So are you an EMA and price kind of guy, or MACD and signal girl? Are you a alligator, moving average crossover person? I don't know. If you have any other, let me know. If you have your own tools, click other. If you don't know, click other. All right, MACD and signal. Yep, that's probably the most popular one. Most people are using the MACD because it's a very good convergence divergence indicator. We'll be going over that in today's class. I'll also be going over the moving average crossover. So we'll go over these 2 setup and configurations in today's demonstration. And I'll start off the introduction with the EMA and price. And so that way I'll cover most of those. The others we'll cover by looking at specific custom indicators where you can use those to scan and look for setups for that. So let me go ahead and close that and move over to our live demonstration. And that way we'll get going. Yeah, if there is an other configuration you want to see, like Claudio put in the chat box, go ahead and let us know what that is. Describe it there, and we'll see if we can't get it set up and going for you right here on our control panel. All right, here's my MT4 platform currently running MT4 Professional. You can see I've got a live scanner running over here on the left. You can see I have 3 different time frames set up: a 15-minute, a 30-minute, and an hourly setup. The scanner is scanning through every one of the symbols that I have selected, and this selection list is user definable, as are the rules that are based on how the color codes are changed. Each of these colors are for each time frame, and I can have multiple colors on any one time frame. So it can be as complex or as simple as you would like it to be. This representation, I've called it EMA and price. You can see the name right here, is an example of what I see on my charts on the right. The scanner shows a 15-minute, and here's my 15-minute chart. It's looking for price. In this case, you can see the price is greater than the X15 period exponential moving average. So if that's the case, I'm looking for a bullish signal anytime my price is greater than this EMA. So for the dollar yen, which is right here, you can see I have a bull, bull, bull setup. Bullish because it's greater than the EMA. The 30-minute right here, yep, price is greater than my EMA. And on the hourly, price is greater than the EMA. So that's a bull, bull, bull setup. I can say I'm in a strong bullish trend simply by looking over at my scanner and seeing it. Now, without even looking at the charts, I can see that the dollar Swiss is in a bullish trend setup. Let's check it out real quick. By one click on the dollar Swiss, you can see right now, bull setup, bull setup, bullish setup. So you're looking at a bullish trend setup. However, you can see that on the setup right here, and you can see that the crosshairs integrate across all 3 time frames. So I can move time and price and determine where I am on that. Now on all 3 of those, you can see that there is a triple top forming. You can also see there is a nice wedge forming. So you can see this is a bullish triangle or a bullish wedge formation. That if we get a break above this nice triple top formation, that will be a continuation of a bullish trend. If it fails and breaks down below this lower trend line, then that would be a bearish consideration. So that's one thing you can do by looking at multiple time frame. And we saw that we have a bullish trend here, but that bullish trend is a setup and we're looking for a longer continuation. So the idea about that is to see this and to know it and to apply to it. All right, so that's what the EMA and price is all about. If we look real quick at the configuration, then I can show you that the setup of the charts are done real quickly with a single click on the right. You can see I've set up 3 charts, 3 different windows on this panel, and the size of the window will correspond to the size and layout on your chart. So this is a configuration that you define the time and the template that you're going to use every time you click on any symbol. It'll automatically just be displayed there. On the left, you can see the scanner panel, which the scanner panel includes, let me close this and move this over so you can see it. The scanner panel includes the symbol list and the scanner control. So let's edit that, click on it. And so I can change or update or create a new symbol list, and I can change, update, or create a new scanner. If I click on the scanner, you can see that each scanner panel can be set up on multiple time frames. So there's a 15-minute, a 30-minute, an hourly. And if I need more, I just simply click this plus sign and I can add any number of time frames that I have available on my platform. The color rules, that means that what has to take place in order to make the color of that cell change. To give it a green, which is I want to be bullish, red, which I want to be bearish, or yellow, which is neutral, neither bullish or bearish. So if you pull down the menu, there's this little edit button that allows me to change, update, or create a new color rule. Now the name, main CR, is just a user-defined name that you can give it. You give it any name that you like. Just as long as it has a name, that's all we care about. Give it a name. Descriptive names can sometimes be helpful. Main color rule is for me very helpful because it shows me that this is the color rule that I'm using for my main display. These are the conditions that would cause it to be this color. So these conditions have to be met in order for the cell to be green. Now, of course, I can change the color of the cell to be any color I like. So if you're colorblind and you can't really see that color, we'll change it to a color that you can see and then make it work for you. So what causes it to change to be a green color? I'm looking at item A, which is currently price. Price has to be greater than item B, which is my 15-period exponential moving average. You can see I have both of these items available on a drop-down list. If I want to have more comparisons or if I want to have more indicators, then I can simply click the indicator button over here to either change or update this indicator, or I can click plus and add a new indicator altogether. So in this case, if I instead of looking at current price, say that I wanted to add an indicator. So this plus sign allows me to add a brand new indicator to the list. And this drop-down menu just simply allows me to add what indicators I've already loaded. So let me add an indicator. And you can see I can add any indicator from MT4 that's already been defined, or I can simply add current price. What I want to do is I want to look at the close of price. So if I click on price and select the current close value, that's the one I want to use. So I click on that. If I want to look at the close of price 2 bars ago, then I would click and make this number a 2. If I want to look at the current price and compare it to the close of price 2 bars ago to look at the current slope of the line, then I can do that by using the indicator shift. For now, I want to use 1, which tells me it's the last bar that closed, and that's one I want to look at. So I want to say close. So if the close of price is greater than my MA15, well, that gives me a little bit more concrete answer, because if current price is greater than M15, I could have a false break and it could come back down underneath and it would change on me. So I would end up with a red that looks red, but as soon as the bar closes, it might go back green again. And I don't want that. So I want to see the close of price being greater than 915, not the price itself. So I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to leave the closer price there, go over MA15. The same thing over here on my condition set. If I see the close of price less than my MA15, I want it to be red. Otherwise, if it doesn't meet either of these two conditions because of the OR operator, it will be yellow. It'll always do condition 1 first, then it'll go to condition 2. Click OK. I have that same condition. That's the main color rule. I have it established for all of my time frames. If I want to add a time frame, simply click the plus sign, define the time frame that you want, give it a color rule. Right now, I only have one color rule, so just enable it, and you're good to go. Now you've established it on 4 time frames. All you have to do is click OK and save it, and it will be set up with 4 columns, 4 different time frames. Now your charts will only have 3 on them, because like I showed you earlier, let me go ahead and cancel that out and then save it, because I did some updates to that. So if I were to edit this and click on this, you can see I still only have 3. If I wanted to add another chart to here, then click Add Chart Window, tile them, and then you can see that my new chart is listed here under these 4 charts. So I can change this one now to my 15, I can change this one to my 30. This one then becomes my hourly, and then this one down here will be my 4 hours. So that way I have a good setup for time frames that would match these setups that I did for my timer, my scanner. I'll cancel that since I don't want to change it. And we'll reload it. And that way, now we're looking at the close of price being above or below the current EMA. I have bearish, bearish, and bullish. Bear, bear, bull. That's exactly what I want to see. So I see that on the chart. I also see that on the scanner as well. Now we had some polls. People want to see some MACDs. So let's pull up a different configuration now. Let's look over at a MACD setup. Since I've given you a good background of what we're looking for, then I'm looking at a setup where you can see I have price and I have a MACD. The rules that you'd want to use, depending upon what rule set that you're using, if you like using the MACD and the signal line, the MACD indicator is comprised of 2 different outputs. One is the signal line, which is the red dashed line, and the MACD is the histogram itself. Okay, you can see it's listed as a MACD, and if I hover over that, and you can see that it would be listed as a signal value. You can also see that on the data window. By opening up the data window and scanning over one of the charts, then you can see that the MACD has a value and the signal line has a value. Because they're listed in the data window, we can have access to those values and do some logic testing on those to see if the signal is greater than or less than the MACD value. Okay, so that's important to know as we go into using these indicators. Notice some of the sweet features that I've been able to set up and use. Notice that each of these 4 charts have automatically been set up for me with the layout that I told it to give. When I go into full screen mode by clicking on F11, notice that the charts automatically redraw for me. You see that? Also notice that when I go back into standard mode, they automatically redraw also. So I don't ever have to worry about redrawing or scanning my charts again. They're automatically done. Also, normally you would have to drag and drop symbols onto your charts. Say, for example, EuroCAD, and you'd have to do a New Zealand US dollar and a pound yen. All right, notice now that they're all different symbols. Okay, that's interesting, but if you wanted them all to be the same symbol, then you just simply one click and they're all set up and ready to go. So it automatically does these setups for you. It also remembers the template that you use. So if you go through and pull up different templates or a different list, see that? Then you can see that that's all changed. But when you click on any symbol, it automatically takes you back to your base template. So that way you never lose track of where you used to be. MT4 always remembers the changes that you make and saves it. So you can't go backwards. If once you make a change, it's permanent. So this is awesome because it saves your state all the time. We're cloud-based. And so all of your changes are based in the cloud and you never lose anything. You can even go traveling, and if you leave your computer at home, just take your laptop with you, then you can trade MT4Professional wherever you go. You can even use a friend's computer. As long as you download and install MT4Professional, you're set up and ready to go. All of your configurations that you made on your home computer are now available to you wherever you go because they're all cloud-based. And you never have to worry about losing any data or configurations whatsoever. Also, anything that you see here on the scanner can be set up and acted on live wherever you're at. So if you happen to take a break and you want to go to lunch, you don't have to be tied to your computer if you see a trade setting up. The scanner itself will trigger you that a trade condition has been met. You can pull it up on your mobile device, your phone, your tablet, wherever you are, see the trade setup, interact it with your live scanner, and click on that trade and execute it even if you needed to. So those are some of the really nice features that are available on your MT4, MT5 platforms with MT4Professional. So let's look at the MACD setup. I'll click the edit button. Let me move it out of the way first so you can see it. And then I'll click the edit button. Let's look at the scanner. And let's look at what the definitions are. So now a trade signal is defined as using a MACD and a MACD. We're using 12.26.9 close, but if you pull down the menu, you can see there are two different parts of the MACD. You can see there's the MACD base indicator. There's also the MACD signal line. So I'm looking at these two as an indication that I've called a trade signal. So I will get a bearish trade signal whenever my base indicator is less than or equal to my signal line. So if you were to look at the chart, you can see that if the base indicator, that's the histogram right here, if this histogram is less than this red signal line, that's a bearish indication. So I want my scanner to be red if this condition is true. Or I want it to be green if this condition is true. It'll always do this one first, then it will do this one. That's the OR operator. It'll be one or the other. If this one is true before this one, then this one will trigger, it'll paint the cell red, and then it will go on to the next time frame or symbol. So very simple strategy, very simple indicator. You can see a bullish condition is just the opposite. I want to see that same baseline indicator greater than my signal. So in this case, if you see the base is greater than the signal line, that's the bullish condition. Here it crossed under, that's the bearish condition. So that's the conditions that you're looking for a trade signal. If you get a trade signal on the 15-minute and you have real-time notifications enabled, you'll get notified on the system, your MT4 platform. If you have it set up your phone number, then it'll give you an SMS message in addition to that. So you'll be notified in real time of these condition setups. So if we're looking at these setup and timeframes, then we can see at this point right here, we can see the MACD has gone less than the signal line. That's a bearish setup. And we can also see at that same time frame whether the multiple time frames have gone, if I'm in line with the longer term trend or not. You can see that the line has gone just short at this point also. It's still bullish here. And it looks like it's still bullish there. I would have to move the line off of it to see. Yeah, see, it's still bullish at that point as well. So you can see there's not a trade entry at this point because I am bearish, bearish, bullish, bullish. So I'm going against the longer term trend. I would choose to hold off because the probabilities are that this is just a lower corrective swing. I would really want to continue the longer term trend, which would be the bullish or buy trade rather than the bearish or sell trade. Simply because the longer term trend is already showing it's in a base formation. So I want to be part of the bounce up or the return to the higher side of that base formation. That's the idea behind it, the longer term trend. So while this looks like it's starting to set up as a nice short, that nice short has a longer term cycle that we have to be in line with. Pound Aussie. Pound Aussie right now, if you're looking at it, it's showing a weak trend on the 15-minute. Okay. It's also showing a strength trend on the 30-minute, a strength trend on the hourly, and a neutral, it looks like, neutral to strong trend on the 4-hour. So this looks like it's just probably a short-term correction. I don't see it as a probable reversal, but we'll have to see because it hasn't really set itself up yet. So that's the nice thing about the setup is you can very quickly determine whether this is a good trade setup or not. But it alerted you to the fact that one of the signals have gone red while the other ones have stayed green. It's just showing you that this is cycling back down. There's a potential, though, that it will return to this longer term trend, and we do have some upside potential. So the chances are good that it could continue to go back up again from this point. Even though you're getting a red signal, the chances are good that it will continue to go green because we did our longer term analysis. All right, that's the MACD and signal. Let's look at a cross of two moving averages. I'll move this over here so we'll be able to see it. First, let me load it to show you what we're looking at. Here we're looking at the conditions that are necessary for us to see cross of two moving averages. You see that I have a 30 period and a 15 period moving average. And I want to make a trade determination based upon where these cross. So looking at the hourly chart, a cross of the red below the blue is a bearish indication. A cross of the red above the blue is a bullish indication. I look at it on multiple time frames, then that gives me the ability to determine direction. So short here, is that short in line with the longer term? No. No. So you can see that there's a lot of questions that come in there. When you see them all aligned or closely aligned, like you can see the New Zealand yen has gone green, green, green on a red trend, then that means that it's probably cycling into a potentially strong longer term trend. Whereas the other ones, like this, you can see they're neutral, they're switching over. The Euro New Zealand has on an hourly gone longer term neutral, but the 4-hour was still green. This probably returned back to a green trend. It's just one way to look at the trends themselves and whether they're in line. When you see red neutral, green neutral, then that's just a choppy setup and it's not really setting up to trend in and of itself. So you're looking for this crossover. So let's look at that same crossover now in logic. If you already have a set of crossovers that you're looking for, then the configuration you're looking for is a simple moving average, and I called it SMA 1530. That's my color rule. These are the rules I use to determine the color of each of these cells. I have let me close this down. I have a 5-minute, 15-minute, an hour, and a 4-hour chart setup. So 4 different charts looking at this, and you can see on my screen I have 4 different chart time frame setups, and I have 4 different scanner setups here. So let me edit that rule, and let's see what the rule says. The rule is looking at a simple moving average, 15 period, has to be greater than my 30 period moving average, and price has to be greater than my 30 period moving average. So not only am I looking for the cross, I'm looking for price to be strong enough to close above my 30 period SMA. So if both of those conditions are true, that's a bullish condition. And likewise, the weakness comes in when the fast moves under the slow and price goes below that slow as well. Both conditions are met, then I'm saying I'm a short condition. If neither of these conditions are met, then it will color itself yellow, showing that it is an indeterminate position. Say, for example, that you need to step out for lunch right now and you didn't have time to check or to follow this setup, but you want to be able to set it because it looks like it's getting ready to go. All you have to do is pull up your browser. So here you are on your mobile device, pull up your browser on your window, go over to MT4Professional.com. From the home screen, you can see where you download the software. You can see all of your onboarding steps if you're just getting started. But one thing I wanted to point out is there's the real-time scanner menu link right here. If you click on that, then you get pulled up to the MT4Professional scanner list. So from here, you select which account that you've got running. If you have multiple accounts, then they'll all show up here as a drop-down menu. I just have one platform running right now. I'm currently running a demo on this setup, and you can see that it automatically pops up on my screen. So the time frames, the symbol list, and all of my color rules are listed, showing right there. Now, if I wanted to interact with this here on my mobile device, all I have to do is click one time on any of these symbols, because if I see a particular trade setup that I like, let me see if I can find something here. This is kind of a messy market right now. I don't see anything setting up right now really well. So let's just look at the dollar Canadian. If I click on my mobile device right now, you can see I clicked the dollar Canadian. All of the charts change to dollar Canadian, and it will take a snapshot of every one of the charts at that point as well. And I just went behind it, so sorry about that. Let me pull it back up again. See that? So I got a snapshot of all of my windows showing me the dollar Canadian charts in a glance. So it's very easy to see the configuration to see whether I have a specific trade setup and take action on that. Or say, for example, that I got a notification here that said I have a trade setup on my SMA cross on the New Zealand yen on the 1 minute. So it gives me a specific snapshot, and I can pull up the real-time scanner with one click. It's very easy and it's very user-friendly. Just wanted to point those things out to you to let you know that your system that you're getting is definitely professional and high-end. Any of the snapshots that you take, either through your mobile device or here on the platform using the snapshot here, will be stored away in your snapshot directory. And you can tag each of these snapshots by listing them here. So if I'm showing all of my snapshots, or if I'm just looking only at my breakout snapshots, then you can see any breakout signals that you've done or any snapshots you've done. You also get access to a link That allows you to share this picture with anybody that you want on your social devices or just with anybody as a direct link to share to. So it's really nice to be able to collaborate with your friends in doing that. If you want to share your whole directory, then all you have to do is just click the link at the top. If you've made it all public, then every snapshot that you've taken is now currently available to anyone that clicks on that link. You can make it private at any moment by clicking on this link, and then if anyone clicks on this link and it's set up as private, then they will not be able to see your photographs. To manage your accounts or to manage your overall account, just simply go to the gear wheel and check on your settings. If you wanted to sign out or set up your subscription at any time or cancel or resubscribe or upgrade your subscription at any time can be done through the gear setting within the members area. All right, I've gone into a lot of details here. So I've gone through quite a bit of examples. Let me go through now and give you a specific offer if you haven't already been part of MT4 Professional. So let's go into a very quick poll first before we go into the offer. So make sure that the presentation that I gave you has meaning. So of the features that I showed you on MT4 Professional, which one of the features did you think were the best? Was it the single click integration of all your charts and scanners? Was it the scanner itself? My rules, my way? Was it the Traders Network, which I didn't talk about? But the Traders Network is a great way of getting everybody on board at the same time. You can share all of your configurations with all of your friends with a single click, and it's really easy to do. And I'll show it back to you when we get back to the demonstration. I showed you how mobile it was, that you could take it anywhere at any time and not lose out on your trades or your setups. I showed you how easy it was to do multiple time frame technical analysis just by using a single click and a mouse. And of course, how easy it was to set up and use. Each one of the setups and stuff, once you understand the platform and the system, is very simple, menu driven, not complicated whatsoever. So which of these features did you find best for you? Once we get a certain number of responses, there it is. All right, my scanner, my way. Multiple time frame technical analysis. Those are two really good answers because you can't really do strong technical analysis without the scanner, of course, integrating and being part of it. I can see why not many people clicked on the Traders Network because I didn't spend much time on it. But the really nice thing about how easy it is and how simple and it is to integrate the charts are also very good too. So it's hard. Sometimes you just want to click all of them, but you really didn't have that option. So we go into that. So for now, I want to go right into a special offer. And if you're not using MT4 Professional at this point and you want to get on board, then this is the time to do it. So for a limited time, MT4 Professional is being made available to you, not for $22.95. I'm just showing you what the actual value is because you get full featured MT4 Professional on either MT4 or MT5. You get access to our exclusive Skype community where our traders are online 24/7. You get unlimited configurations and storage via our cloud configurations, and you get 100 SMS notifications per month included with your monthly subscription. And you get all of our pre-configured presets. Every one of the presets that we went through in the configurations I showed in the demonstration are available to you with your subscription. The total value is about $22.95, but of course, we're not going to give that to you for that price. We normally list it for $194 a month. That's the true value that we're looking at on the software, but you won't be paying that. We're making it available to you today, $97 a month. That's half off of the normal listed price that we would have for the software. You get a 14-day free trial. So by signing up, you get 14 days to try it out to see if you like it. If you don't like it, you can cancel at any time within the 14 days. and there's no money taken out of your credit card. But at the end of 14 days, it'll automatically start billing you $97 per month, and it will lock you into that for life if you stick with MT4 Professional. So you'll get the 50% discount for the lifetime of your subscription anytime past the 14-day free trial. The link is mt4professional.com/trial. Claudio has put it into the chat panel to make it easy for you to click on it. If you click on that link, then you'll get access to the $97 per month limited time special for this subscription. If you have any questions about that, or if you want to get a hold of us at any time, then contact us at support@mt4professional.com. A ticket will be automatically generated, and we will get back to you within 24 hours, either in a written response or a direct correspondence. So support@mt4professional.com will answer any questions or get you in contact with us. Now I'm going to pull up my platform again. I'll rearrange it so you can still see the link, so I don't lose that down there. And let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to set it up and demonstrate it for you as well. I didn't see any custom demonstrations come across, so I have these already set up and working across those. So I have a EMA and price set up here, which there it is right there. I have integrated it with the MACD. So what I'm looking at here is a MACD integrated with the EMA and price strategy. So I've taken two different strategies and integrated them together to give me a new strategy. One, I think that is a little bit better. Whenever I see a crossover of price under my 15 or 30 period exponential moving average, that's bearish. Whenever I see a cross of my MACD under my signal line, that also is bearish. So when I see these both configured at the exact same time, then that gives me a sell signal. Okay, so at this point, this is a sell, but this isn't yet. So it's not until here that I see that the price is closed under and my MACD is less than the signal line. This is a sell signal. Is that a sell signal on my longer term? No, it is not. I don't get that until this point right here. You can see at this point, finally, I've got a close below and I've got MACD close below as well. My shorter time frame is already below and is already below. So this gives me a confirmed multiple time frame alignment on an initial trend. And that's what I would be looking for. I'm looking for that close to get me in line and to give me in the direction of the trade. If I want to look at a different signal, like the Australian US dollar, then the initial signal came at a point where the close right there and MACD on my 15 period, right there. The next time frame was the close and less than on my 30 time frame. So this looks like a directional change as well. The longer term trend, if you look at an hourly chart, might still be in a downtrend. But at this point, I can see the change occurred at this point. If you would have followed this change signal when it occurred, then at that point, here is the entry. That is a potential 12 pips in profit at this point, waiting for your trade to end. So that's the idea behind the strategy. So looking under the configuration, I look for my rules to help me to see what setup is. Then I can see that same strong signal is set up. I'm looking for my MACD close. My signal line has to be greater than my histogram line, and price has to be less than my moving average. So that's a higher condition. I'm not just looking for the trade crossover. I'm looking for the cross of price, and I'm looking for this to be less than. Bullish condition is just the opposite. I need to see that the signal line is less than my base indicator, and I want to see the close of price greater than my MA15. If that logic is not the way that you like to see it, then of course you can change it. You can say that the base indicator line has to be greater than your signal line. Okay, that's the same thing. And the close has to be greater than. So if my base indicator is greater than the signal line and close is greater than the moving average, that's bullish. So you can do the same thing. It just depends upon how best represents the way you understand it. Anytime you make any changes, always remember to click the save button. A little check mark appears to let you know it's been saved. Also, make sure that you give it a nice name that helps you to remember what the configuration is, and give it the description. You can be as detailed or as limited as you want in the descriptions. You can give it a nice long 2-3 paragraph description, or you can just give it a very quick and decisive description to say what it is that you're doing in that setup. Notice how long or short those descriptions can be. Okay. Are there other questions? Is there anything else that you want me to go over for you here before we end? We're getting close to our timeout. So now's the time to ask if you'd like. Remember, MT4Professional.com/trial is the way to get started. You'll be able to download the full version of MT4 Professional onto your PC. It does work best on a PC. If you're running a Mac OS, you'll have to have a Parallels or some other emulator running a Windows environment in order for MT4 and MT4 Professional to work. Once you have it installed, once you have MT4 installed and running on your platform, install MT4 Professional to that application, and you're ready to go. All the features I showed you today would be available to you. By selecting the configuration, then all of the presets that you see here on the screen right now will be available to you on the subscription, and all of them are downloadable from the cloud directly to your platform. Can you download and use it on 2 PCs? Absolutely. You can do it on 3, 4, or 5 PCs, but as you can see here in the configuration panel on the member site, you have a way of managing your account licenses. So if you're using the same account, then you can set it up on multiple licenses. See, I have 9 licenses remaining, real, and 7 demo licenses. I have it set up across multiple computers, but I have access to multiple ones because I have the gold platform. But if you have the basic platform, then you would have 1 real license and 1 demo license that you can set up on any one computer. So you can have a real license set up on one computer and a demo license set up on another computer, and you can manage those from here. But you'll have to get a gold license if you want to run multiple live accounts or multiple demo accounts on multiple computers. But yes, you can have it set up and running. Log into this online and just simply set up your accounts to run on either one. Because I have 2 different accounts right here running on the same computer. Quick, short answer to your question, yes, you can. Hey, I'm here to answer your questions, so if you have a question, does it require NinjaTrader? Absolutely not. It requires MT4 or MT5. So when you subscribe, you get access to the members area here. you get access to download the current version of MT4 or MT5, whichever one you want to use. If you are using both, you can download both. If you have multiple licenses, then you can use that license on both. We have no relationship, and we do not run on NinjaTrader. It'll work with stocks if you have stock data for your MT4 or MT5 platform. You'll need to contact your broker to see if you can get the stock data on your platform. Whatever data you have access to on your platform, you'll have access to with the scanner. There are multiple brokers that do provide stock, futures, Forex, and cryptocurrency data for the MT4 or MT5 platform. You'll need to contact your broker who provides your platform for you to find out if you have that data. The same with Indian markets or Australian markets. You'll have to contact your broker to see if their MT4 or MT5 platform will provide that data for you. Questions, please. You wanted to know a little bit about the Traders Network? If I were to go here and edit any of my configurations, the first thing you'll find in the lower right-hand corner is a small configuration key. This is a configuration share key. If you click on it, it enables you to search for someone that you know, and it enables you to share the configuration with them. So do I want to share my MACD setup with Deb? I say, yes, I do. So I just shared my configuration that I already had set up with Deb, and that's how quick and easy it is. Anybody else that's subscribed or on the list, you can share with as well at any time. That way everybody's on the same page at the same time. Now, if you wanted to find a configuration that somebody sent you, then just simply click on select a configuration, scroll down to the bottom of the list to your inbox. In the inbox, you'll find the configurations that other people have sent you. That way, you don't have to worry about going through the configurations and the process of setting it all up. Just simply click on the configuration somebody else sent you, like these two that Claudio had sent to me, and you can do that. Now, Deb, she'll be able to go through and find the My MACD configuration. I just sent her. It'll say My MACD from Randy Lindsay, and it'll be My MACD rules, and she'll be able to click on that and load it and save it as a custom configuration for her. All right, well then if there aren't any more questions, then I'll go ahead and show you our contact link again. If you have any other questions or comments beyond today's webinar, you can contact us at support@mt4professional.com. We'll be glad to answer any questions or give you any specific answers to your subscription or technical needs. If you have any custom configurations that you want done, then our technical staff is capable of doing any and all configurations on the MT4 or MT5 platform, including the development of EAs or expert advisors for you. Just let us know. Thank you very much for your time and attention today, and we'll see you the same time in 2 weeks. Take care, and bye for now.